Hey everyone, my name is Eric. I'm a software engineer. I've been a software engineer for 14 years. I have been writing code in Angular for about 7 years, 6 professionally. And today I have some cleaning up to do. So tonight is the official release of my new Sudoku app that I can't even show you right now because I've been working on getting it ready. And last night I left things in a mess. If you were here, if you were watching, or if you saw the video, it was getting late, and things just weren't working. And well, what do we have here? We've got uh, errors all over this deploy script. We've got the CLI, the local server exited with an error. Uh, Here's the app running on localhost. That obviously is not working right. Um, we've got junk sitting around, bug snag everywhere. So, first order of business is to clean up after myself. um, so last night I was integrating here. I've got a little to-do list here to get ready for the release tonight. And I was working on this error tracking. Um, I want to make sure that if there are JavaScript errors on for users when they're using the Sudoku app, that I find out about it so that I can fix it. And so I chose Bugsnag and was integrating it, and integrated pretty nicely, but then I was trying to hook up source maps and it was all downhill from there. So the new plan is to abandon the source maps for now. Just stick with what I've got set, what I had working. Try and get back to what I had working before trying to do all the source map stuff, and then move on and get other things ready. So, gosh, first thing I want to do is pick through the file changes that I've made, because I assumed I was just going to integrate source maps and it was going to be fine. I didn't even cut a special, like, commit anything before. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I didn't commit anything before switching to source maps, so I have to detangle it all. I'm going to go to a new branch and do it from there so that I can. Oh, I'm already on a new branch. I have a branch called event tracking, and I'm currently on. You can't see it, but behind my video, it tells me I'm currently on master. What? Oh, event tracking. Right. Event tracking. That's something from earlier. That's in master now. We can delete that. I want error reporting. This is done. I've got even more things to clean up. Okay, there we go. New branch. We want a branch called Bugsnag integration. And let's start making some commits. So the deploy script was all about the source maps, and that completely failed. So we are just not doing that. This I won't commit. This is just to generate an error to see it happen in the real code. Okay. Here's stuff that actually just gets Bugsnag working. Oh, cleaning up after myself. Here we go. I even have to go change some code before I can commit. So that was app version. That was trying to tie a released version of the app to a source map. So that's all got to go. I think I didn't end up using this in the current iteration of the scripts anyway, so no big loss if I just delete it. Delete that. Nothing to do with app version. Nothing to do with app version. If you see the API key and freak out that I just leaked my key, these are all things that get deployed to production JavaScript anyway, so they're not secret. I mean, don't use it, because then Bugsnag is gonna it's going to show up in my Bugsnag dashboard, and that's not helpful for anybody. Um, okay, cleaning up after last night. What a mess. What else do we have to clean up? That looked good. Okay, now, yeah, this is more like what I expected. Release, staging, development, yep. Bugsnag module, yes, this is what actually got it running to just report the errors in the first place. Nothing to do with source maps, so we can keep all of that. Ah, this source map stuff, no. All the changes to package.json, oh gosh. Let me come back to that. We're going to have to be selective about that one. And yarn lock we do. Oh, even this has pieces that are not. Ay. What a mess. What a mess. So I installed two or three different packages from Bugsnag, and one of them was specifically for source maps. And so let's go undo just the source map one and get our yarn lock file up to date with that. Tech Geek, how's it going? I'm excited for the Sudoku release. Oh, thanks. Thanks. I'm the hype. It's working. I'm generating interest. Yeah, gosh, you can help me brainstorm about cool things to do during the release tonight. Let me finish cleaning up my mess from last night, and then I'll pull up my to-do list and ask for any extra suggestions for how to make the actual event interesting for people from different backgrounds. There will be some people coming because they're into Angular, and there'll be other people coming because they're into Sudoku, and there'll be other random people coming who just like clicked on a link on Hacker News or something. So anyway, it'll be interesting. Nice to have you back. Thanks for dropping in again. Right, so that should have cleared up my yarn lock file. Package. Okay, so I think I'm ready to actually do one commit with the stuff that should be actually ready to go into master. Then we can stash the rest and play with that and make sure that's okay and actually get that into master. I don't know if there's a lesson for me to learn here. Maybe be quicker to go off on a separate branch and commit often. I don't like to commit to master until it's going into production, because then I always know I have a copy of code I can quickly check out and fix bugs that are in production. So yeah, I guess I need to learn to be quicker to make a new branch and make several little commits as I go in case I run into the craziness that happened last night. Craziness. It wasn't crazy to watch. It was just, I don't know. It just wasn't going well. Okay, we don't want that. We want that, but not the weird deploy script that tried to do source maps. Nothing to do with source maps there. This is actually production worthy. And that is, and that is, and that is. And that is. And that is. That should not go in production. Instead of starting a new game, we'll throw an error. How's that sound for production? And the scripts we don't want, because that's all the weirdness. That's where it all went downhill. Okay. So this integrates Bugsnag without source maps. Let's commit that. And then stash failed at Bugsnag source maps. So we've got to get stash, and so now we need to test the branch I'm on right now to see if I can get that merged into master and release it. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so first let's just test it locally. And then, do I have my deploy script for staging? Yes. After that, I'll do a staging deploy, and we'll play with it there. and see it all working in Google Analytics and Bugsnag and everything. Okay, so I need my Bugsnag dashboard. Oh, and I can clean this up from last night. All these source maps I tried to upload all failed. I'm not going to need the docs for that anymore. Not going to need that anymore. This I'm going to want. Okay. So, how are we doing? Compiled. Great. Let's see it. Let's see a Sudoku app. Okay, that looks better. And now if I try to start a new game, we should get that hard-coded JavaScript error. Oh no, I need to put that back for testing. Okay, so if we go to, that was in the menu component, menu component, and we'll just say throw new error, testing Bugsnag again. Bugsnap? Bug. Okay. And I believe the default environment does go to Bugsnag with that release stage. Good. So now if I do this, we get a JavaScript error, and within 20-ish seconds, normally it seems like, it should show up here. So the most recent error was 11 hours ago, and when I refresh, still getting that one. Come on, Bugsnag. You can work. Uh-oh. It says it notified Bugsnag with a 200. Come on, come on. Any stage. Uh-oh. Just be delayed. Ay, ay, ay. What did I do? That's strange, right? This says headers. We sent to notify.bugsnag. We've got, that was in the body, we got stuff working. This all seems okay. What have I done? It always happened much quicker than this last night. I don't know. There's nothing to look at in the code because I see the actual request. Do it again. If I do the same thing again, it'll be different this time, right? Other. Did it post to notify? Oh, options. Yeah, that's not the one I want. This is, yeah. Come on, just be delayed. Ugh. Oh, I wonder if there's like a date filter going on or something. December 29th. Oh, that was the 28th for me in Eastern time. Aha! What is this? 16. Oh, that's got to be right now. Yeah, that's right now. Oh, Eastern. Oh, that was a nice little. Oh, see it in my time zone. Perfect. Oh, I wonder if I'm. Oh! I bet I know. I bet I'm just on the wrong page. Hold on. I bet I'm looking at the details for a specific error that said hello Bugsnag, and I just changed it to whatever I just did. Testing Bugsnag again. I'm not very good at Bugsnag. I just tried it out for the first time last night. 1 minute ago. Okay, it's coming through, and it should be in development. Oh my gosh. Sorry for making you watch me fail at Bugsnag in stupid ways again. Okay, and Analytics for, oh, let's see, do I have analytics in development environment yet right now? Environment, no. Okay, so let's go to, it works in localhost. Let's go to staging, yarn, what do I call it? Deploy staging, and we'll do no source map bug snag. Make a little URL there for us to test it. How are you doing, Tech Geek? Sorry, I never even asked you. What's up in your day? Tech Geek must have stepped out for a bit. Okay. Oh, right. Let's go to our new staging environment and generate an error and come back to bug snag. This is, how do I see which, oh, I'm on events here. And what is it? How do I tell where I am? I need to learn to get better at this bug snag UI so I don't make mistakes like that again. Somehow I was on an error for that specific bug. Oh, here he is. I'm good. I'm working a little today. Weather's getting bad. You should check out my weather app, and so you can see all that. Is the page you're on show you everything related to your game? So this page right here is just a thing called bug snag. Oh, well, weather.simonton.app, of course. https://weather.simonton.app. There's a link to it. This page is just showing the JavaScript errors that users get, or in this case that I generate purposely. So that's this service called Bug Snag that I looked into and integrated last night, and I'm trying to get back to a production-worthy state. So all we have here are those things. I've got Google Analytics showing, no one's there right now because I haven't released this yet, and I'm not playing with it. But we can pull up, and in fact, we should pull up I should rename that staging, the staging environment here. Dietra, oh, hey there, how's it going? Good to see you. Welcome back. So here's another page where I get info about the game. Dietra, right now we are getting ready to release my Sudoku app tonight. And I've got a whole to-do list, and currently I'm at the stage of cleaning up the mess I made last night so that we can get back to the to-do list. So yeah, we can see that, here I get information about usage of the app. So if I do some things and toggle some things and come back to Google Analytics, let's see, this is localhost. Sorry, I have to do this on staging. If I add some stuff in here and toggle some stuff here, then in Google Analytics, we'll now start to see all that stuff come through. Hey, Tech Geek, thanks. I'm glad you like the weather app. That's the way I consume my weather now. That graph that you see on that app, I had a different weather app that I had got from the Android Google Play Store, and it had a graph like that in it, and that's the way I love to get my weather. But then it turned out that their back end went down just enough, like maybe like 10% of the time to annoy me. I was like, I've got to find a different app that can give me the same graph but actually be reliable. So I went searching and downloaded a ton of weather apps, and none of them gave me exactly what I wanted. So I got frustrated. I was like, I'm going to make it myself. And I did. And actually, I think now I've improved on it and it's even better. I can get weather from multiple different, um, providers, sources. So if you're in the United States, there's weather.gov, and anywhere else in the world, there's the other three that you can see in there. You can turn them on, see them compared on the same graph. Uh, uh, Here, let me just pull this up while I'm explaining it. Oh, that's a bug I have to fix. How do I reload this thing? Reload. Ay, ay, ay. I have run into this problem before. I have to figure this out. I'm gonna excuse me while I take a detour and write myself a bug ticket. That hopefully when you saw it installed, it was nice and colorful and not just like black. Um, each line should be a different color. How do I fix this? Well, first of all, let's write the bug ticket. Let's just go to GitHub. And we'll pull up my profile. It did not look like that. Yeah, good. It shouldn't. I don't know how it gets into that state, but I need to find out. That might be my next project after releasing the Sudoku app. New issue. Bug. Randomly turns black instead of colorful. Good enough. That's enough for me to remember. But this weather app is open source. You can go here and check out the source if you're interested. And then, gosh, there's probably a much easier way. Let's open it in Chrome instead of the Progressive Web app and just do a hard reset of everything, because I know that'll fix it. Okay, current location, please. So, as I was saying, here's this cool weather app. And we've got temperature, feels like temperature, cloud cover, etc., on all these lines. And then that's all great. Let's get down to, I don't know, just a few of them. But then we've got these sources. So weather.gov is in the United States only, but it has an unlimited API. So this is the default. And then if that fails because you're not in the US, it'll fall back to one of these. I have a limited. This is all just free. This is not monetized in any way. So I'm just using these free weather APIs that limit you to, like, I don't know, 500 API calls a month or whatever their limit is. But anyway, you can turn them on and see a comparison. So, oh, look, weather unlocked thinks it's going to be warmer than all the rest. Or Climacell thinks there's going to be more rain tonight at 10 p.m. than the others. And so you can just sort of, like, I don't know, get a feel for however you want to, what the weather might be based on that. But you can do the 1-day view, the 3-day view, the week-long view. You can zoom and pan. We can check what's the weather in uh-oh. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. It was like, I don't think it was Thailand. We don't get weather to gov there, but oh, look at this. That is very consistent. You get down to those more warmer climates, and weather is not as unpredictable, it seems. Anyway. Okay. That was a fun aside. Oh, and then the progressive web app. The Sudoku app is also a progressive web app. That lets you, let's see, how can I show you this? let's anyway, right here in Chrome there's a little plus button, and if you do that you can install it, and then it shows up like this, and it gives you an icon for it on your desktop, and you can pin it to your dock if you're on a Mac, or to your start taskbar if you're on Windows. If you're on an Android phone, you can install it from Chrome the same way, and it'll show up on your home screen as an icon, just like a native app. And I did that for the weather app mostly just because I wanted that nice home screen button on my phone. But with the Sudoku app, it's even better, because once you do that, you don't need internet. The Sudoku app is completely client-side, and you could be on an airplane without Wi-Fi and still, pull up my web app that you have installed as a progressive web app on your phone and play Sudoku without any problem. Okay. Where were we? We're testing out staging. And so in Bugsnag, if I refresh, we should see some errors from. We don't see any new errors from staging. Did I end up? Maybe I hadn't. Okay, there. So we went to Bugsnag. Good. So now we should see it show up in here. And then we'll know things are looking pretty good. Oh, we saw it showing up in the analytics. Right, that's what I just did right now. So that's still integrated. And I am having trouble with this UI. If I come back here, does it show up? Yes, 37 seconds ago in staging. Okay, great. It must be when I click this, it brings me to a different page. So I need to always remember to go back to see my list. Okay, learning the Bugsnag UI. Okay, that's great. So I think this is ready. We'll put the artificial bug away. And I think let me just compare this with master one more time and see all the changes. And if it looks good, we will deploy it. All right. Yep. 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 Everything in there looks good. These two lines, I was kind of disappointed in Bugsnag last night. By default, Bugsnag tracks your IP address and tracks you as a user over time, both of which require, user permission to do. And that's normally buried in, some dialogue or some terms of service or privacy policy somewhere. And I think those things you should opt into that kind of behavior, not have it by default and require me as a developer to opt out of that behavior. Like I just installed Bugsnag thinking, oh, I just want an email when someone has there's a JavaScript error in my app. And somehow that comes with, user IP address tracking by default. So anyway, I turned that off. And what did I even use this plugin Angular for? I want to investigate that. What is this plugin Angular? For this error handler. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yep. Cool. What just happened? Okay. I was doing a comparison with master before I merge it. Right, we were here, and last one is just the yarn lock file. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go back to master. Merge in our branch. And I think we're good to deploy this to production. Cool. And then let's see. I have a stash. I have all that like in progress trying to figure out source maps code from mess from last night in a stash. I guess I should probably go back to my branch, unstash it, and make some like work in progress commit message. I don't like just leaving code that I might want to get back to in a stash only. I want to get it into my source control and up in GitHub backed up and everything. So let's see, we just deployed to production. So first of all, let's verify that. So we'll open our Sudoku production progressive web app. We have to wait 10 seconds for it to download the new code, because a progressive web app will load from cache and then update after some delay. And then we should be able to reload. And ooh, I don't have a way to create a JavaScript error. Huh. I hope this makes a new game. Yeah. We can at least test that analytics are working. Still, we go to production. It shows me, yep, I just made a new easy game. That is correct. How do I test my bug snag integration in production? I don't know. I could open like a JavaScript console and see if I can figure out a way that way. Let's open this up in Chrome. And oh, you know what? I should be able to just, I think bug snag. Nope, it's not a global variable. Let's set a breakpoint someplace where we have access to it and send it one from there. That'll work. We have to navigate minified code. Is anything in here using bug snag? Okay, handle error. That's not my code. That's not my code. That's not my code. What method do I call on bug snag? Let's see. Let's find. That's in the app module. Oh no, it's in the right the bug snag module. Here. Let's go in this. I guess, yeah, we can stop here in the bug snag module. So someplace where we have new bug snag error handler. New bug snag. No, that got renamed in minification. Collect user IP. Here we go. This is my code. How do you figure out minified code? vk.a.start. vk.a. Maybe that's bug snag. Oh, new bk. There it is. All right. Okay. We're about to create our bugsnag client, so let's go ahead and let that happen. And now we're using a factory. Wow, this is nuts. What is this? Value. Bugsnag client. Okay. That was e dot value dot bugsnag client dot notify. I don't know if I can just give that a string. Hey, it called notify. Okay. Payload. Sent from production. Okay, okay. And now, if I reload, sent from production. Okay. Whoo. You know, it's really interesting. The big problem I was just having is that I couldn't trigger a bug. I was struggling so hard to find a bug. Okay. Don't need staging anymore. Don't need that staging app anymore. This, we can get rid of our breakpoints. Continue. Get rid of our breakpoints. Go back to the progressive web app style. Oh, without the dev tools. Okay, okay. I'm feeling good about that. Lovely. I need to think about how to monitor this during the release party, because if there's a bug during the release party, I think I might just dive in and try and do something about it. Oh, stage production. I wonder if they have, if I can enable desktop notifications from their web UI and just leave this open. Let's get to just this page. What's this? Email notifications. I guess I could keep email. I don't normally get like eye-catching notifications from email. But maybe, oh wait, they have all kind of integrations. Maybe I can integrate with something. Integrations. We can do webhooks, Slack. Maybe I was questioning whether I should make, I haven't made my own Discord for like my streaming and my projects and that kind of stuff yet. I don't know, Tech Geek, if you're still here, do you ever use Discord? Would that be interesting at all, do you think, to yourself or others? Because if that's the case, I could go ahead and make that and integrate Bugsnag with it. Oh, SMS. I have to have a Twilio account, of course, that makes sense. I guess for now, the easiest thing is just going to be to get my, to make sure I have visibility to any new emails I get during the release party. So let me just write myself a note for that. make email notifications visible in case of bug snag. Okay, cool. There, I think that's good enough. Preview channels, we can get rid of that staging app we just made. And switching branches sometimes confuses the CLI. Okay, I said, I just made a note there I don't want to lose. Okay, that's fine. So I want to go get that out of a stash, the mess I made last night. Pop that stash. Oh, and look, I have more notes here in my to-do list that I don't want to lose. I don't want these on the branch. I want these in master. So let's see what else is like that. I guess that's it, just the to-do list. So let me copy that off to a Scratch file. I'm almost done cleaning up after myself from last night. Oh, I don't have any Markdown Scratch files yet. Okay, that's fine. Scratch file for Markdown. Where'd it go? Okay, we'll come back to that. So now the actual to-do list we can revert, because that doesn't need to be changed in the branch. Get revert. Rollback, that's what they call it. Okay. Failing attempts at getting source maps in Bugsnag. Okay. We'll get that pushed up into my repo so I can come back to that later. I may just decide to try Rollbar. I was 50-50 between using Bugsnag and Rollbar when I finally chose this one. Now we can get back to master and look at our to-do list. We'll compare this with the one we just created here. Compare. So, right. I just changed the order of that. Okay. Got our to-do list up to snuff, and let's amend that last commit, which was update to-do list. Whew, I think I have finally cleaned up after the mess last night. Good. Nice. Nice. Time to go to the next item on the to-do list. Okay, Prepare an announcement. So I have some announcements prepared to plop into a couple of subreddits and the Discord server for Angular. And I realized I should do one for Hacker News. So let's get that ready. And Hacker News, what do they care about? I suppose more the technical side of things, so more like the Angular community. And I was just reading the guidelines for posting to Hacker News, and the one that caught my eye was also be available to answer questions. And I thought, oh, I'm going to be live streaming. I don't want to be like also answering questions on, some message board. But then I thought, well, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay. Because a lot of the people who show up will be from message boards, right? One of these four. And so if I just have them open and every once in a while tab through them, then people will see that like this is all part of the release party process, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it'll be interesting enough. So I need to write myself a note, first of all. So for release, just before release, I need to get some things set up like this one we just wrote. And open all the forums to check on and field questions. So that should be fine. I'm sure there's some more in there that I need to add, but I will do that as I think of it. Cool. So before the release, we should send an announcement to Hacker News that says something like this one, I think, but we'll tweak it a bit for Hacker News. Oh, and this should be, I'm doing this as Markdown. Let's move this into my new Markdown scratch. And how do these normally like get phrased or worded? Let's get one that's really popular enough but is like an app. 2 points. That's not Linux container written in Rust. Okay, fine. Oh, wait. We have to go to the comments to see how that works. And somewhere I think we should see this guy writing a note, FLHOC. So he's replying to all the comments. Oh, and he did not make his own little discussion after it, which they did recommend, and I want to do. Let's find another one. Oh, I keep forgetting. I can't click that. I have to click that and find Hubram Hugo. Okay. Okay, so a little like what I built or what I'm working on, and then maybe like a, I don't know, motivation for it. I built a Sudoku app. They already have the link because that goes in the announcement at the top. Ooh, HTTP. That's not correct. That needs to be S. Built the Sudoku app to help practice and learn advanced solving strategies. And then probably something about nothing about the technology. I feel like people should care about the technology. It's a progressive web app that can be used completely offline, written in Angular with a material UI. That seems good. Drop in on the release party December from which I happening now until 9:30 p.m. December Eastern Time, December 29th. It's happening now until ask me anything here or in the live stream about how it's made, or why the world needed another Sudoku app. Lovely. That seems good enough. I've had good, from my standards, good traffic, good amount of traffic generated from both Reddit and Hacker News before. For Reddit, it was, I forget which subreddit I was using. I have not tried the Angular Discord before. At least not in a way that I could track. I did use it last night for a minute to tell people that the release was coming up. Okay. I think we can check that off our list. That is prepared. Oh, is it error tracking? We do have done except the source maps. I'm going to add that to TechDat. I'm delaying that. Source maps for error tracking. And no longer hold up the release based on it. But this part I can do. Switching back to actual coding here for a minute. I do remember I wrote this down. There was just a simple thing that I could improve, sort of reduce some tech debt right off the bat. I don't like having tech debt, and I'm inclined to make my code nice. You know, on the spectrum from throwing out code that's too hacky and prototypey to spending too much time making it beautiful and whatever. I think I lean a little toward the too much time refactoring thing. But anyway, this will not take long. Famous last words. That was in, let's see, I want to keep this available here. Clean up some of this stuff. Right. I was with this environment. Yes. Okay, it's coming back to me. Okay. I want to change this stuff. These are both for Google Analytics. For Bugsnag, I made it all one object. I want to be consistent and have my config for my event tracking to be similar. So that would be in where? ng core. Okay. Config. Oh, look, I already have a config object I can use for it. Perfect. So here, I'm going to change this event tracking config instead of those. And then in each of my environments, I'll have to update it. So event tracking config has log events true. No? Oh, what did I call it? Oh, just log. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense because now it's in the context of event tracking. So you don't need the word events anymore. Log it. Perfect. And staging. Event tracking config. GA property and log. Good. And production. That's nicer. I like those grouped up under here. It's easier to read and understand the config now that these two go together. And we will need to, I assume we have an error. Yeah, we'll just use the errors to point us the rest of the way. Right, so now here, I can just simply do environment dot event tracking config, and it's all set up and ready to go. Love it. And we compiled successfully. So let's test that. Let's restart the CLI just to be sure. And don't need that for a while. Let's pull up our development analytics. And we should not see anything at first. Oh, we don't need that right now. Okay, we're up and running. We don't have any new events. We should see things printing. Perfect. And if we play with that a little bit, like making our development config match staging config, then we should start to see it come through here. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Good. Let's commit that. So this is cleanup config for event tracking. Be consistent with error tracking. Cool. So now that pushing done. That finishes off this whole item. That was a long haul. That took a lot of effort. I assumed that was going to be a lot faster, but that tends to be how these things go, doesn't it? Now I want to change the priority here a little bit. I think that's not. It's cool. The idea here was I could make a version of the app for demonstration purposes that will very slowly play itself, and I could talk about it as it goes. And I think that'll be really cool, but I don't think it's as important as I think some of this initial UX stuff down here. Because if people are coming from the release party, or coming to the release party, I mean, and checking out the app for the very first time, this will probably be the most promotion I ever do for this app. And so if I want this to stick, if I want people to use it, which I do just because that will make me happy, not because I've monetized this thing in any way. I'd like for them here. Let's do a brand new app experience. Let's clear all of our data, reload, and this is what they see. And you don't know what to do, right? So I think the very first thing we can do is like at least start with a game seated like that, very least, right? I think they'll still be confused by all these numbers in the cells. The app is really great once you know a little bit about it, and I want to reduce the amount. I want to make it a little easier to like intuitively explore the app and figure it out for people who are coming to it for the first time. So I've got a couple of ideas, and if you're watching and have ideas yourself, please put them in the chat. I can't promise we'll do them, but I will at least write them down and we'll prioritize. So my first thought was, yeah, start with that. And then something else is the thing that really sets this app apart. The reason I made this Sudoku app instead of using someone else's that already exists is for this help menu on the side. And all of the awesomeness that someone coming to this app for the first time probably will not understand. I feel like I always have to explain it. And I'm not quite sure the best way to communicate that to someone just appearing out of the blue to the app. If I explain it in person, people are always like, whoa, that's awesome. But how can I get that same wow factor if I'm not there to explain it? One idea could be to just make a video and say, click this. If you don't know what these are, click this. And it'll just, take them to YouTube and play a video with me explaining it. And honestly, that's my best idea. If you have a better idea, please let me know. Anyway, we can start with having a game. That is manageable. So we want to find when we make the store for the first time. So I use a centralized state and store system for the app. And so here we make we grab the previous state so that if I refresh, it keeps my game that I was already in the middle of. And that comes from this persistence object. And then we pass that through a migrator in case I need to make some changes if the new version of the app changes the structure of the state. I can update it and people won't lose their game. And then this is the default. So if they don't yet have a game, if they've never been to the app before, it will do this state. And so what I could do is just precede this with a new random easy game. I feel like easy is the way to go for just the default. Um, Sorry, I've got thoughts going on at once. I was just back thinking about how to make this explorable instead of having me requiring me to be there. I could maybe like, when you check this, it could somehow pop something up to tell you something about it, or the first time you expand this, or click one of those or one of those. Hmm. It's moving toward what you'll get in some apps where the first time you come to it, they have little bubbles that pop up and have arrows at things and like walk you through a guided tour. I still don't know quite how to capture that in just like some succinct little sentences. Digging the music. If you're watching on YouTube later, or even on Twitch later, not live, you can't hear the music that I'm jamming to. So I just look extra silly. Okay, focus. Focus. What we want to do right now is just have this start with an easy game. So let's maybe make a separate function for that. Default state with generate fresh state. Returns a Sudoku state object, and we want to figure out how to then put an easy game in here. So let's look at the coordinator. Has something called start new game, and you pass it a board. And it actually updates it in the store. So we want to get this logic, I suppose, operating on just a state object instead of in the store itself. And let's see how we generate this thing right now. That'll be this one, I suppose. Oh, we have a new game service to generate a game of a given difficulty. And why is it a service? Because it uses HTTP. Well, this is proving more tricky than I thought. Maybe we should just hard code an actual easy game rather than try and integrate all of this, at least for now, for today. That should be easier. Then we won't need to deal with HTTP. We can just use like string to board seed of. So the games are represented in these game seeds. Let me pull one up over here. So like this is an array, a JSON array of 1,000 different Sudoku boards that are of easy difficulty, and 1,000 for medium, and 1,000 for hard, and 1,000 for diabolical. And each actual starting state of the board is just a string of 81 digits. 1 through 9 for if it actually has a value in that cell. So like this particular game starts here. I'll show you. I can copy this and go to the game and import from clipboard. Oh, try again. There we go. So it has a 5. I caught it just as the CLI was refreshing it with live reload. So it has a 5 in the first cell. There's a 3 over here, so that's going to be this 3, and all the zeros in between are blank. All right. So we could just pick some easy board like this one. We could export this to the clipboard, come to here. So starting game is that. So that's the game we just exported. Has a 6 in the second cell, which is, if we wait for it to reload here. So we want to use that. Yeah, so we don't need any of that. That's fine. The new game service, we don't. Oh, we just want this string to board. That's the only piece of this we care about. So board equals string to board of the starting game. And then we need to run all of this logic, but on a state. So let's just figure that out, because then once we sort of extract this and have it work directly on a state object, we can use it both here and here. Or, whoa, wait a minute, I just had a different idea. So that's one option. We could also detect, after the store has been created, whether the game was brand new, or whether it was a very first, whether we started from a blank state and needed, and this is the first time someone's connected to the app, essentially. And then because we could either queue something up, we have to figure out the timing, but we could, have it just, a millisecond later, have it put the new board on the screen. A little hacky. I don't love that. A little easier. I like that. It gives us the power to have it be a random new game. Whether that's actually better, I suppose, is a different question. It's the first time someone comes to the app. Who cares whether it's random or not? Okay, let's write this out and think. Option 1, generate as part of initialization. Using a fixed, starting game. And option 2 is generate a random, wait until, basically generate after initialization. So pro, easier to write. Oh no, that's this one. We can do this easier because I don't have to refactor any code. I just have to call it. This pro is no flicker. I feel like the game could start as a blank board and then flicker to the actual starting state. If it's just between these two, I'll go with the user. I can manage writing this. I'm going to go with the one that has user benefit. So we're going to keep going down this road of refactoring so that I can get this code get this code usable in both places. I have something called a new game service. that generates, right. Let's just export a function from here. Um, um, we have a start new game that takes in the board and the state. And it's going to return a new state all set up with this stuff, the equivalent of this stuff. So the equivalent of that is simply, well, let's start with a state equals clone deep. We'll make this better in a minute. Let's start with just mutating it and then see how much we can make it nicer. So state dot board equals board. We have an as string. Didn't we already have it as a string when we called this? Right, it's a string here. It's a string here. We moved it to a board. Oh, we shuffled it. Okay, that's why it's a board. Okay. Shuffle works with a board's representation. Okay, okay, yeah. That we can keep the same. And then this becomes, the solution. Okay, so state dot solution equals this guy. Okay, so that's actually going to be a lot easier than I realized. We just move this up, then we can return the state plus these two lines. Uh-oh. Oh, that's just a linting error. Oh, yeah, no problem. Is that even on one line? No, almost. We can make it one line. Let's make this solution. Lovely. And then we call that from here. So that would be this dot store dot set start new game with the board. Let's set using. Oh, in fact, if I change the order of this, oh, this will be slick. I can actually just call it set using start new game with the board. Ha! Oh, that's cool. That's great. I'm happy with that. Let's see if we can get that running. So we just don't need any of this yet. Okay, so localhost, refresh. Okay, that's looking good. So now that we've refactored, we can come back in here and make this work again. So right. So this is going to be generate fresh state, which is going to make a board out of our starting game, and then simply, return start new game with our brand new fresh state and that board. Ha! That doesn't even need to be a function. Oops. What have I done? Ah! Okay. Cool. So now, if we have a brand new game and we refresh, bam! Ready to be filled out. Got the 6 in the corner. Ah. Good enough. Now, as long as I'm in here, I remember that I want to get some event tracking for when there's a brand new game like that. So I can see a special event in Google Analytics for the first time someone visits the app. And I know I've done something like that before. I just don't remember how to figure it out. Is there a hook in the Migration Manager to tell me if it got a new state? Where did I do that? I did that in my, probably in my weather app. Let's pull that up. And that's going to be, again, probably I'll start in the store, the weather store. We have our initial state. Ah! If the initial state equals the fresh state. Perfect. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Obvious once you see it. Okay. So this is going to be the initial state. And then we can say if initial state is a fresh state. I like that I named it the same as last time without looking. For that name fresh state. I thought I made that up just today as we were doing that, and I suppose I did, but I made it up again the same way I did before, which actually I find really great. I value consistent code very highly. Right. So we're going to do, so we need to get the event tracking service in here. Then we can do event tracking service dot track. Oh, category and action for this thing. Oh, what did I use? Speaking of consistency, initialization category, okay, and initialize fresh state for the action. Oh, yes, and I need, this is not an interactive event, and that's important. I'll explain that in a second for anyone. Sorry. That's an interesting thing about Google Analytics. I'll explain. Defined and false. So Google Analytics has a flag on the events you can send. First of all, I'm using Google Analytics to track all kinds of custom events like this, or when people start a new game, when people use the different help things I have on the side, so that I can see what's being used, what's working, what's not. I can compare how often are people, I don't know, like how often are people switching between values and notes compared to entering actual values or notes. And if they're switching too much, maybe my UI is a problem. Stuff like that. So all the things you do generate an event, so I can see how people are using the app and use that to decide what to improve or what features to work on. If people are never using swordfish and jellyfish, I know I don't need to, I don't know, improve the performance of them or something. So in here, in Google Analytics, all those events affect the bounce rate. So when you're tracking analytics, the bounce rate is whether someone comes to your page, or in this case your app, and then just leaves without doing anything. Like they showed up and it wasn't engaging enough and they just left, or something like that. And so you want to know about those things. You want to know if people are bouncing. And if I just send an event, Google Analytics is going to say, oh, look, they did something on the page. There was an event, and so that's not a bounce. But here, just initializing a fresh state, the user didn't do anything. So I set a false for that, and it will still allow there to be a bounce if they don't do anything. Right, so what do we want to do? We want to see if that event just worked. So when we refresh, we should not see an initialization event. Good. But if we clear our data and then refresh, we do see one. Initialize fresh state. Perfect. Non-interaction true. Lovely. I think that does it. Cool. That's going to be, oops, not that one. That's going to be this one. Wait, let me read that again before I start with a pre-generated puzzle. Yeah, that's what we did. Let's commit. Start new game. I always want to review my commits and make sure I didn't leave something hanging, because it's amazing how often I do. I think I'm ready to commit, and then I review the diff and realize I was not. Great. Start a fresh install with an easy game instead of a blank board. Yeah, love it. And you know what? I'm even going to deploy that so I can test that in production. And while that's running, I'm gonna take a break after this. Um, I'm sure I will be back this afternoon a little bit later to continue preparing for the release. And so I'd love to have you back if you're finding this interesting. I'd love some interaction in the chat to I don't know, make this a little bit more social. But anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube later, I put links in the description below to my Twitch channel where you can come start watching me do things live, to the Sudoku app, which is already released by now if you're seeing this, and anything else that seems relevant. Um, yeah, we are up to date in production. Let's pull up our app. This is a progressive web app, so we have to wait for 10 or so seconds for it to detect there's new code, download it, and then when we restart it again, we should have the new code, but we should not have in our production. We should see that I'm on the page. That's 2 users. It counts as 2 users because I'm not user tracking. I just opened the app twice and it counts it as a new user every time. I don't want to track users. I don't want to. Maybe someday in the future, I'll add a way for users to opt into that if they want to, but by default, I'm not going to track them. But there was no initialization event. But if I, let's see, let's get this popped back into Chrome so that I can open the developer tools, clear the site data, and now if I refresh and I look at analytics, come on through analytics, no, 3 users, uh-oh, where's my event? That was the whole point. Well, that wasn't the whole point. The whole point was to have this board, but I thought it was. Oh, collect. Here we go. This is where I was expecting. Initialization, initialize fresh state. Okay, it did send it. I see it there. Why didn't it show up here? What? Analytics? What are you doing? Got a 200 status code. This should be the page view. Yeah, that's the page view, and then this was our initialize fresh state. Ooh. Ooh. Are these strings okay? Should that be EA? What did that do in production I mean in development? Is that where we saw it work? Oh, we saw it work not actually in. Let me turn this on in development where it's not minimizing and make sure that those somehow minimizing didn't ruin everything. It shouldn't. That should be coming straight from Google. That's going to be in here. Event tracking config. Let's just get it hooked up to our staging analytics. So if we refresh, we should see a page view. Yep. And then if we clear the data, we should see initialize fresh state. Oh, active users. Oh, it didn't count me as an active user because it's a non-interactive event. Oh, interesting. So if I actually do something interactive and go back to production, now it shows up because now I'm an active user, and these are events from an active user. Oh no. Oh no, I just have to go to this tab. Okay, that's fine. I can go to that tab. Okay. Still learning all these things about these UIs. Okay. Okay, we're good. We can undo our changes. Oh, that's the weather app. Undo our changes here. I think there should be no changes. Yup. And we are in production. Great. So thanks for being with me. I hope it's interesting even to see me struggle through some stuff like that, so you can, I don't know, at least see how I try to troubleshoot things. Anyway, like I said, I'll be back again later this afternoon. Wish you all the best. Hope to see you soon. Happy coding.